Zubarah Fort, located in Qatar, is a remarkable historical site with a rich history. It was built in 1938 on the ruins of an older fort near the ancient town of Zubarah. This town itself was once a thriving pearl fishing and trading port on the northwestern coast of the Qatar Peninsula, founded by merchants from Kuwait in the mid-18th century. It quickly became one of the Gulf's most important pearl diving and trading centers. The fort's primary purpose was as a Coast Guard station, and it played a significant role in the region's defense. The structure is typical of the region's military architecture of the time, featuring high, thick walls to withstand attacks and harsh environmental conditions. The entire town of Zubarah, including the fort, was abandoned in the early 20th century after economic decline and political instability. However, it has since been recognized for its archaeological importance. In 2009, Qatar submitted Zubarah Archaeological Site for UNESCO World Heritage status, and it was inscribed in 2013. This recognition highlights the fort's significance in understanding the social and economic history of the region, as well as the development of the global trade network. Today, Zubarah Fort serves as a museum and is open to the public, offering insights into the historical life of the region and the broader historical narratives of the Gulf. The site around the fort continues to be an active area of archaeological research, providing further details about Gulf life in the 18th and 19th centuries. Zubarah Fort, a key historical site in Qatar, offers a fascinating glimpse into the Gulf region's past. This fort is not just a military structure, but a symbol of the once bustling town of Zubarah, which played a crucial role in the pearl trade that was vital to the economy of the region before the advent of oil. Architecture and structure. Zubarah Fort is square-shaped with 3 circular towers and 1 rectangular tower. This design is typical of the defensive architecture of the period in the region. The fort's walls are made of limestone and mud mortar, materials that are well suited to the harsh desert environment, providing insulation against heat and resistance against erosion. The walls are high and thick, designed to offer protection against both military and environmental threats. The interior of the fort includes a courtyard surrounded by rooms that were used for various purposes, including weapon storage, living quarters, and as stations for guards. The strategic placement of the towers allowed guards to monitor the surrounding area effectively for any approaching threats. Historical context. Originally built in 1938, the fort stands on earlier fortifications that date back to when Zubarah was a flourishing trade and pearl diving center. The town of Zubarah itself was founded in the mid-18th century and grew rapidly as a trading center, linking the Gulf to the Indian Ocean and beyond. However, by the late 19th century, the town went into decline following attacks and economic shifts, leading to its eventual abandonment in the early 20th century. Archaeological significance. The area around Zubarah Fort is part of the larger archaeological site that includes the ruined town. It has been extensively excavated, revealing residential palaces, mosques, streets, and a market. These findings provide invaluable insights into the social structure, lifestyle, and economic conditions of the time. UNESCO World Heritage Site. Zubarah was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2013 due to its outstanding value as a well-preserved example of an 18th-19th century Gulf merchant town. The site is one of the most important and extensive archaeological sites in the region, offering unique insights into urban life, the pearling trade, and the socio-economic history of the Persian Gulf. Current use. Today, Zubarah Fort functions as a museum that displays artifacts found in the region, including pottery, coins, and marine equipment, providing visitors with a deeper understanding of the historical and cultural significance of the area. The site attracts tourists and researchers alike, serving as an educational hub and a window into Qatar's rich heritage. Zubarah Fort and the town of Zubarah itself were subject to several attacks throughout their history, which contributed to their decline and eventual abandonment. Historical attacks. 1. Omani invasion. In the late 18th century, the fort and town faced threats from the Omanis and their allies. The town was besieged and significantly damaged during these conflicts, leading to a period of instability in the region. 2. Saudi raids. In the early 19th century, Zubarah was attacked by Saudi forces. These attacks were part of the larger regional conflicts involving the Wahhabi movement, which significantly impacted the political landscape of the Arabian Peninsula during this period. These conflicts and attacks played a significant role in the economic decline of Zubarah. The repeated assaults made it difficult for the town to maintain its position as a thriving trade center, especially in the highly competitive and risky pearling industry. 20th century and abandonment. By the early 20th century, due to a combination of repeated military conflicts and economic shifts, particularly the collapse of the pearling industry, the town of Zubarah was largely abandoned. The fort itself, however, was later repurposed in 1938, mainly serving as a station for the Qatari Coast Guard rather than as a military garrison experiencing direct attacks. These historical contexts of conflict and decline underscore the fort's resilience and the tumultuous history of the region. Today, as a museum and archaeological site, Zubarah Fort provides visitors with insights into these challenging periods and the broader historical narratives of the Gulf region. Zubarah, once a bustling town located on the northwestern coast of the Qatar Peninsula, has a rich history closely linked to the regional trade networks and the pearling industry. The town's establishment and development are pivotal to understanding the Gulf's economic and social history prior to the oil era. Formation and growth. Zubarah was founded in the mid-18th century, around the 1760s, by merchants from Kuwait who were looking for new opportunities in trade and pearling. This establishment was part of a broader pattern of migration and settlement driven by the dynamics of commerce and conflict in the Persian Gulf region. The town quickly grew into a thriving center for trade, attracting people from various parts of the Arab world and beyond, including Iran and India. Economic significance. The economic foundation of Zubarah was primarily based on pearl fishing, which was a major industry in the Gulf region at the time. The town's strategic location facilitated its emergence as a key port in the regional trade networks, linking the Persian Gulf with the Indian Ocean, and even reaching out to East Africa and India. Merchants in Zubarah dealt in pearls, fish, dates, and other goods, and the town featured warehouses, shops, and marketplaces bustling with traders and goods from around the world. Architectural and urban features. Zubarah was well planned, with a fortified layout to protect its valuable trade from raiders. The town was surrounded by a protective wall, and its architecture included residential houses, mosques, marketplaces, and the fort itself, which was a later addition built for military purposes. The residential buildings were often made from coral stone and roofed with palm fronds, typical of the region's architectural style adapted to the harsh desert climate. Cultural hub. The town was not only an economic center, but also a cultural hub. It reflected a diverse population engaged in various aspects of urban life, contributing to a vibrant community with rich cultural practices seen in their daily life, festivities, and maritime traditions. Decline and abandonment. Zubarah faced several military attacks in the late 18th and early 19th centuries, particularly from Omani forces and later Saudi raids. These conflicts, combined with the economic pressures from competing ports and the eventual decline in the pearling industry, led to the gradual abandonment of the town by the early 20th century. The final blow came with the economic transformations triggered by the introduction of cultured pearls and the Great Depression, which undermined traditional pearling economies. Archaeological significance and UNESCO recognition. Today, the archaeological site of Zubarah provides invaluable insights into the life of an 18th century Gulf trading community. Excavations have revealed the layout of the town, showing houses, mosques, streets, and a fortified wall, offering a snapshot of urban life in the Gulf before the oil era. In recognition of its historical and cultural significance, the Zubarah Archaeological Site was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2013, highlighting its importance as a well-preserved example of a Gulf merchant town.